was Hakeem today?
Who was Hakeem today? I think Hakeem today. I would like to. I'm trying not to be emotional here, but you know, I like to be as real and factual as much as possible. Hakeem today was someone who could say was one person. I mean, somebody with 10, 20, 30 parts rolled into one. You know, so it's difficult to actually say this was Hakeem today or that was Hakeem today. A whole lot of things, you know, rolled into one personality. You know, and it's very simple for me, because when you look at just like you said, trajectory, you know, since our secondary school days. Incidentally, we attended the same secondary school. It was he actually started his secondary school life at Baptist Boys High School, Abeokuta, and he came to complete his papers at Naruto Grammar School, Bantuko. Where I started there, and so we finished together. It was a year my senior, and we were together in the school football team. For many people who don't know or who didn't know that we actually played the game up till that level, at secondary school level.
Goalkeeper.
You know, a lot of people who saw us present sports on TV, on OGTV, Sports Trail, said that. We were just analysts of the game. They didn't know that, or they don't know that we also played football, we played the game, you know, up to the secondary school level. In fact, Hakeem took it further. It was almost signed by a club side. I think Hawks of Makurdi.
Wow.
You know, that was when he was at the Federal College of Education in Nasarawa, Nasarawa State, where he had his NC certificate. You know, it was so good that a club side wanted to sign him. You know, and but somehow he didn't get to play professional football. You know, and education took over, and so he came down south. You know, and southwest, and so the rest is the story. He was, I could say, we should say he was in the same generation with Ikeshorumu, who kept the goal for Nigeria between 1993 and 1994 up to 2002. So you can imagine if Hakeem actually took to professional goalkeeping, he would have also probably played up to that level, maybe in Europe, you know, maybe up to the Super Eagles level and all that. So he was a great footballer. He was a brilliant student in school. His strength was English language, literature, art generally, you know, and he lived a very fantastic social life.
Yeah.
Hakeem was.
Let's talk a bit about the social life. I mean, a lot of us, some call him Bullet, some call him Cucumber. I mean, I know he had that social life. The social circle was 100% of it.
That's why you won't be.
There's no
you will be in broadcasting without having very strong social life. I know some people.
Okay.
I know some people. I mean, that's him. You know, Hakeem will dance. You know,
wow.
I mean,
look at him digging it.
Dance expressively. If you like to say, dance his sorrow away. You know, no dull moments for him. You know, at parties, he loved parties.
Yes.
But at the same time, he loved his job. You know, I remember together here, we'll go to parties and we'll go to parties on Friday night, and we'll come back here. We'll still make it up, you know, make it early to office on Saturday to present World of Sports. We had a program that we were presenting then, OGTV World of Sports. I think it was in the afternoon, 3 to 4 or something, and we were. There was no way we allowed, and naturally to professionally, you don't have to allow your social life affect your professional life. So for Hakeem and I, it didn't affect us, you know, and it continued when Wole Otayemi joined us. Wole Otayemi now with OGBC. So Hakeem was somebody full of life, effervescent, you know, very energetic. happy-go-lucky, you know, and above all of that, he was a master strategist. Hakeem had a way of getting something out of nothing. You know, I remember occasions that he was sent on assignment to cover some events, you know, outside Ogun State, and it will appear that then that he was not going to grant something out, but he would grant something out of nothing. I remember a particular year that Great United FC went to play in Akure. You know, it was courageous and bold enough when the game ended, and some thugs actually wanted to snatch the camera away from us. He stood his ground. They got the camera home with the material, and with the material, Great United FC won 3 points, you know, in that game. So, all in all, Hakeem was a complete human being. You know, you can't actually say this particular part is bigger than the other part. Almost equal in all the parts of his life. So I call him a complete personality.
Maybe you call him a Cristiano Ronaldo. Passion is there. Intelligence is there. You know, the profession is there. Another thing that I would love to ask you, Biodo, is that you know, it's not easy maintaining a relationship, particularly when you have to work together. You know, sometimes when you are friends and you don't work together, you know, there are sometimes you don't spend together, but you have to work together. You be friends. You
disagree on some ideas.
So the question is that when anybody thinks Hakeem Akintunde, he or she will think of Biodo. So how did you guys manage your relationship for years?
Funny enough, sometimes on the streets, maybe in a restaurant, or probably in a fuel station or anywhere, people will just say, "Mr. Hakeem, how are you?" And I'll just nod, "I'm fine." You know, on a lot of occasions, people will refer to me as Hakeem Akintunde, you know, and sometimes I smile to them, Biodo, like, "Oh, Biodo, you know, that kind of a thing." So, you know, we gelled, and I guess it was also due to the fact that we grew up together. We attended the same secondary school. We played street football together at the CAC Primary School in Lantoro. We were always there at weekends to play football, you know, and there was no discrimination. That's why the fact that I was my senior in secondary school, a year older than me, you know, and we got along. So funny enough too, we came for the job interview, unknown that, you know, we're coming. We just met each other here, you know, and we did the interview, and incidentally the two of us were employed. So we just did a carryover from secondary school to Abeokuta Street. It's like Lantoro, Adaton, you know, then to OGTV.
But because of time, so that we can manage the time properly. Yeah. What I'm trying to get at is we are humans. There will be quarrels.
No doubt.
There will be disagreements.
No doubt.
There will be issues.
No, you see,
how did you manage that brotherhood?
No doubt. I mean, we had disagreements. We quarreled, you know, on principles. But what was going well for us, our own generation, is that we quarrel today about the job. The following morning, we're good again, because it was. We had that training. We grew up in the hands of the likes of Tony Bankole Oki, Dara Adebimpe, DJ Akintunde, you know, Demola Odusoya, Biodun, Detoyibo, Shegun Olaleye. And what we were told then was that, you know, anytime you quarrel, it's all for the job. And the job has to continue. You know, it does not matter whether you like the face of a colleague or not. If you don't like Latif's face, and Latif does not like your face, you guys are presenting the same program, and the show has to go on. You know, and that's something curious about this program. So we quarreled on principle, and we just forget it and go on. We will settle it sometimes at the stadium when the stadium was really lively and all of that, or sometimes at the Weri or at Crowdway, you know.
Or is it because you know, one of you is very hot, one of you is a bit cold? Let me be Hakeem Akintunde can be like,
I think both of them have that trait.
I know Biodun rarely get angry, but if he gets angry, maybe when he's getting old.
Like I said, both of them.
Maybe when he's getting old. I've been with the two of them for the past 30 years. So, it's a new version of Biodun.
I remember I had an issue with Biodun one time like that, and then Hakeem called me, and Hakeem said, and it stayed with me for a very long time because myself and Biodun, we would always disagree.
This is the point I'm making.
And then when he comes and say Omotoba Shipa, and then he was like, do you understand that Yoruba? And I was like, okay, maybe. And I was like, you have to open yourself up for people to, for people to come into your life, for people to assist you, for people to, so you don't have to keep things to yourself. You don't have to, so Hakeem is the kind of person that when anything happens or if he sees, he would call you straight and tell you. He's not an hypocrite. He doesn't know how to, he will just come and tell you, this is it, this is it, this is it. And then, you're like, okay. And everything dies.
No, the point I'm trying to make, let me break it down, I have to say it the way it is. Because like I said, I've been with the two of you for the past 30 years. Closely, I've been close, not just being with you. I've been close to the two of you, became like your family for the past 20 years. So I can say I know the two of you so well. Hakeem can be very direct. You can be very diplomatic. So what I'm saying is that, is it because of that say that, okay, well, we need a direct approach, or okay, then we need to be diplomatic?
The two traits, I will also say, helped us grow together. Because even sometimes when we were on air presenting Sports Week, there were occasions that we disagreed. There were occasions that, yes, I agree with him totally. I think he got us by saying that Hakeem is a direct person. I am more of a diplomatic, this way person and all of that. And somehow it also helped our job because sometimes, when Hakeem, decides to hit authorities hard, I pour cold water on it. There were occasions that where we criticized government, the running of JT United Football Club, running of sports in the state, and the governor will have to call at a particular time in the life of the state. The governor will have to call the commissioner for sport, and the commissioner for sport will call us and say, "You guys, what are you saying?" and all of that. So it was. It was just, we were able to achieve what we achieved on the sports desk of OGTV simply because of the fact that we combined, our traits, we combined our traits. He was a direct person. I am much more diplomatic.
Let's talk about Hakeem as a sportsman, a sports journalist, a veteran, he's a broadcaster. The former chairman of
SWAN. You see, it's quite interesting that the two of us became chairman of SWAN. When I was leaving office, it was the one that took over from me. I think the first person that actually we had Dimeji Awoyemi, who was one-time sports editor in OGTV. He was in the ESCO of SWAN. Today Sholeketu was also in the ESCO of SWAN. So being in the ESCO of SWAN has become something of birthright for But beyond us becoming SWAN members, Hakeem and I, we did our best in terms of changing the narratives of sports presentation in OGTV when we came in October 6, 1999. I remember, how we were always at match venues at the MKO Abiola Stadium, now MKO Abiola Sports Arena, how we would sleep in the office to monitor boxing bouts overnight, how we would travel to Abia by road, how we would travel to Port Harcourt, all parts of Nigeria, covering international matches involving Super Eagles, covering league matches involving Great United FC. I will go to Ibadan to cover Shooting Stars. We're always in Ibadan covering Shooting Stars, to the extent that anytime we go to Ibadan and there was trouble, the fans will say, "Don't touch Hakeem and Biodun, leave them," and all of that, because they were quite enjoying our sports. Was all over Southwest that time. It was the major program that we were watching in Ibadan. And so I think it was just in Southwest. I think it was just in North, and I think it also reflects one of the things I also say about this job. You must dream becoming a broadcaster. You know, being a sports journalist is not just about you studying mass communication. Hakeem read. Yes, I should also add this. He was also a teacher at the Zulia Abiola Quranic College here in Abeokuta. Hakeem read at Baptist Girls College too in Ijaba. He was a teacher. So Hakeem never read mass communication. I never read mass communication. So, but the fact is that we grew up playing the game, reading newspapers, watching sports programs, listening to sports programs on radio while we were growing up. And so that aided the job. You know, it wasn't really about certificates. Yes, certificates plays a big role and all of that, but there's also the instinct part of it and the interest part of it and the passion part of it. And it paid off well to the extent that we both covered some major tournaments. Hakeem made, we were very proud, a certain year, I think 2007 or so, in Congo. He was there to cover the Under-20 Nations Cup, and he was chosen as the commentator. International commentator. So anytime we were watching matches in that tournament, it was Hakeem's voice all over Nigeria, you know. And so it was really something of pride working with Hakeem on Sports Desk. And his strength, Hakeem's strength is presentation and reportage. Hakeem was a fantastic sports presenter. In fact, beyond sports, he also presented OGTV Splash. You know, when Ms. Kito Ishiku was producer, he also presented New Dawn. He presented whatever. He presented Islamic program.
Okay, because we need to wrap up. Let me on Hakeem, the sports man or the sports journalist. He's spoken a lot, and we can talk from now till tomorrow. Talking about, is it when he went to, was it Angola 2006? All these international 2010, all these international competitions that he has covered, you also covered. You know, then, like you said, you are watched all over. And
Hakeem was all over.
Talking about you and Hakeem on Sportsroom. That's what I'm talking about. I think
Sportsroom is still being watched all over.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the program. I'm talking about you guys as partners on the program. As at that time, because it wasn't the era of, you know, decoders, mobile phones, internet.
Well, I think that was why they went this thing. But quickly, because of our time, we have the burial of Hakeem. I mean, yesterday was his burial rite.
Should I quickly mention this? I mean, just to also let you know about Hakeem's humility. Some of those he also taught in school at Baptist Girls College, the likes of Bola Oshomoji, Mored Keji, you know, and of course
they work with us here.
Yeah, he also got along with them. You know, imagine you coming to work in the same organization with someone that you taught in secondary school. Now you know the secondary school that Keji went. Bola Oshomoji.
I'm sure Keji is listening.
I wish I could ask that question. I wanted to ask how you manage the fame and all that came with that.
These are the burial. The burial rite for Hakeem, which was yesterday. We saw lots of faces, lots of important dignitaries. The other yesterday was extremely sad. Sanusi here too, they cried their eyes out. And I think I ended up doing it the same while taking the news last night. It's so sad to watch, but I mean, we take solace in the fact that he is in a better place. We take solace that he is rested with his Creator. And we also take solace in the fact that he lived a life well spent. We thank God for that. Can you say, do you want to add?
I mean, you know what we have to say about death? It's an inevitable end for everybody. All of us will die someday. But we all pray. I mean, you could see the quality of that chairman of Ogun State Football Association. Before him, we saw the former Accountant General to the Shola. We saw National Assembly members who came yesterday.
Commissioners.
I mean, so it tells you of the society that Hakeem belonged to.
The Minister of Health was there too.
Minister of Health. So that is just an unavoidable end for all of us. But sometimes the quality of life that you live matters more. You could live 70, 80 years and you were really unsung, but you could live 40, 45 years and you were really famous. And I think that's just one thing that we should say about Hakeem. Look at the quality of people that came around yesterday. The burial ground was filled to capacity. You know, that was the first time I was seeing that place filled to capacity. And I mean, the quality of people, the Minister of State for Health. We had a member of the House of Representatives, what's his name now? Honorable Folado Afwakbe, Commissioner for Sport and Sport Development in Ogun State. I also saw him there. So I think it tells you the kind of person Hakeem was when he was alive. Yeah. And then we saw it.
Yeah, I think let me also say one or two things about him, even though we are wrapping up. For me, I don't know where to start, but then, like you also said, I don't want to be emotional.
I saw you cry yesterday.
So both of you, while you were crying,
I cried. It was a competition of crying.
Yes, it was.
But for me,
it's a legend. We lost a colossal person.
For me, Hakeem was a very intelligent person. Like I said, very straightforward. He said it's happy-go-lucky. A big brother to the core, big brother to the core.
Everyone.
And I was close to him for the last 20 years that he spent on the surface of the earth. You know, I don't know.